Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. The ZFlip4 is officially in the studio today, and I've had the honor of using it for the past 24 hours, and I can confidently tell you it did not shatter. Today is episode 1 of the ZFlip4 series. I really pushed this over the past 24 hours. I took it to school, I came back, I was using it the entire time. I had it for work and obviously the late night entertainment, make of that what you will. So I'm gonna tell you about my experience over the first 24 hours. The first thing everybody wants to start with is the battery on this device, especially after last year's disaster. And I've got to say the battery it's a yes. It's 100% for sure better than the Z Flip 3. I'm not saying it's 100% better than the battery in the Z Flip 3, but it's noticeably better. Let me explain. I'm somebody coming off the S22 Ultra. We're coming off of things like the iPhone 13 Pro Max. We've used the Ultras and the Pros. And obviously the battery here is not going to compare to those mammoth devices, but it's not supposed to. What about something like the S22 Plus? Well, I'm gonna say there is still a bit of a difference between the battery in the Z Flip 4 and something like the S22 Plus, but that difference isn't as big as it was last year. And for many people considering the Z Flip 3, last year the small battery was a deal breaker. I mean, they just couldn't make use of it. And so a lot of them went to the S22 Plus because of the small battery. Well, finally in this generation, that doesn't seem to be as big of a factor anymore because the battery is bigger. Scientifically, I mean, they did stick in a bigger battery, but it's also lasting me longer, and I'll get into a little bit more detail in just a second. Before we get into the details around the battery, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It really helps grow the small channel. I mean, we recently hit 10K, so I guess I'm not that small anymore. But again, it really helps grow the small channel. And also don't forget to smash the like button if you like this video, smash the dislike if you dislike it, and let me know in the comment section below how I can improve. This video is sponsored by Aura. I browse a lot online, okay? I'm doing all kinds of things, and Aura helps protect my identity from scammers, hackers, and spammers online. Aura continuously is monitoring the internet and the dark web, looking for my emails, my social security numbers, and it'll let me know as soon as it finds anything anywhere directly to my phone or my laptop. Anytime someone is trying to open a credit card or a loan in your name, Aura's gonna let you know immediately. One of my favorite features, because I get this a lot, you guys know I'm switching my phone, so I get SIMs and I'm moving SIMs around, and I get a lot of spam calls and spam text messages. Well, Aura helps stop that from happening because they request my data and my information be removed from these online catalogs. Aside from all that good stuff, Aura also comes with a VPN. Now, we all know what a VPN is, and if you don't have one, you should consider Aura. And they also come packed with antivirus software to help protect all of your hardware and your devices. You cannot go wrong. And just to get your step into the door, Aura, right now, like if you sign up right now, they're giving you 2 weeks free. Like completely free, no commitment. Get the app, try it out, see how your information has been used in the past. You can pull up the history, and it's pretty interesting to see how. So don't wait any longer and don't go anywhere or browse anything. Click on the link below and browse safely starting today. On with the video. And I'll get into the cases and all the accessories I've got for it a bit later, so calm your tits. But to get started with the battery, I woke up today with 100% charge. So this was at a full 100%, and today, 6 a.m., I had to go on a 45-minute drive. That's my drive to my campus. And so those 45 minutes, Google Maps was on the entire time. At campus, I'm not really using my phone that much in class, except for these apps that teachers use called Pull Everywhere, where you need to interact with the lecturer on the big screen. And so, there were times where I had my phone open so I could interact with the lecturer. After lecture, and this is now like 2 p.m., is when I'm able to kind of separate myself from my classes, get into these libraries or wherever it may be, and then I start catching up on the social media. I start replying to your guys' comments. I start, catching up on the day officially, get out of the academia and into some more fun stuff. After that, it's a drive back home, another 45 minutes on Google Maps, and then starts more of the business side of things, so conference calls and other things like that. And then finally, we're in the evening now, and that's where I relax and we're enjoying Naruto or anime in bed, whatever it might be. Now, did I need to charge it throughout this day? This whole day that I just described, did I need to charge it? Yes. Okay, I did charge it. How many times? One time. Specifically at around 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern time, not that that matters. I sat down and I did realize I needed to charge this. The battery was getting down to about 20%, and so yes, this needed to be recharged ASAP. But honestly, it is still a significant difference over last year's Z Flip 3. Now, one thing to note is that these devices fluctuate like crazy. I hate to say it, but your experience may very well be different than mine, especially in the first week, 2 weeks, even a month, because they require quite a bit of time to optimize. I remember for my Z Flip 3, in the beginning, it was absolute garbage. Over a month or two, that's when it started becoming a lot more usable because of the battery. Same thing with my S22 Ultra. That thing the first 2 weeks would die faster than the Z Flip 3, but over time it became optimized, so keep that in mind. The lowdown on the battery, it's better than the Z Flip 3. Is it flagship level? Can it compete with the flagships of the day? No, not yet. But is it a deal breaker? Honestly, I don't think it's a deal breaker anymore. Now don't worry, because I'm gonna get into the body of this device. I'm enjoying the case. First of all, can we give it up for this case? I love the silicone feel. It's been like ages since I've actually had a silicone case. It does add a little bit of bulk to the product, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my time with this case. And it's so easy to pop off. And another difference you're gonna see with this generation is that the cases don't have so much of that sticky tape anymore like they did in the last gen. They just hold on very tight, and there's this paper on these cases that's actually kind of sticky. It's not tape, it's like this rubber that just grips really well, so I appreciate that. We're gonna get into that later. But this is the matte black version on Samsung, which is clearly much grayer than last year's. Last year's was actually matte black, like you could tell, yeah, that's matte black. This year we're seeing it a lot more gray. Also the edges, last year these were last year they were matte black all around. This time we have this blacked out chrome. And I don't know how I feel about that, but what I will say is that they do make it easier to hold. Last year's matte black version was extremely slippery and I complained about it. This year, they've made it quite a bit easier to hold, so I could use this without a case. Now, is this a productivity device? Let's talk about that. In the first episode of the Z Flip 3 season, I talked about how that phone was for people who want to stay off of their phone, who want to just be able to get rid of notifications and keep the phone in their pocket, portable, and also when you're studying or you're trying to focus, you don't want notifications and a big screen getting in your way, which does get in your way, especially when you have something like this and a notification pops up and you swipe open. You're gonna dive into it, you're gonna get distracted. This, it's so much easier to just swipe a notification and not even think about opening up or using your device, so that you're able to focus a lot better. But that's also a problem, because a lot of people last year were returning these devices just because they were like, it's annoying to open the device, to flip open every time you want to use the full screen. And I get it, I completely understand. Those things have not changed. And I realized it again when there's a notification and it's not super important. I'm not gonna open my phone. I'm just gonna swipe it or reply right on Cover OS and I'm on my way. And talking about the cover screen, it is bigger. It's like, I don't even know, 0.2 inches bigger than last year's. Does that make any kind of a difference at all in the function of the cover screen or any new features? No, there's no new feature on the cover screen. It is basically exactly the way it was before. Now it is very, very, very basic. I haven't been able to get into this phone and like change a lot. So that's how the cover screen is a little bit larger on this year's generation. But aside from the cover screen, how are the other physical features or changes on this device impacting my usage? They're not. Overall, this phone is almost exactly like last year's. Now, The camera bumps, I think they stick out a little bit more, and there's this chrome bezel all around the camera bumps. This screen goes, it's the same. It's the same. Obviously the gloss black, even the screen itself is very much the same as last year's. That's not a bad thing because I just love the way it looks. Okay, I'll get into that. But there is still a very thick plastic bezel that goes all around the display. It's still there. There's still this added screen protector that is really, really obvious to see right on the screen, and this is, you know, what was causing so many people so many problems when they were getting bubbles underneath their screen protector, which would occasionally lead to this whole glass shattering. There was a lot going on. So, I mean, the technology looks the same. You still see the brushes on both ends of the hinges to keep it dust proof. So most of that screen technology remains the same, or so it seems. Now, Samsung has said that they've made this stronger, the glass is stronger than last generations. We don't know how true that is, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? And just to comment on the display, because I did say I would comment on the display, I mean, I love this display. I love this display so much more than other devices. I know the Ultra has a better display. Calm down. I know the iPhone 30 Pro Max has a better display, you know, scientifically speaking and all, but I prefer this display over any other device for a few reasons. First of all, I love how narrow it is. Being so narrow, it's so much easier to hold than even something like the S22 Plus. This is easier to hold than this. But other than that, reading long articles, reading passages, because it's so long, it's easy to scroll, first of all, and it's also just nice to be able to see a lot more at once. Also, it's thin and extremely light. And I know we're getting past that now, we're on to more bulkier phones with a lot more definition. I get it, but it's just really nice. Really nice to be able to hold a phone that's so light, and it feels different, but it's just the whole point of this phone is to be portable, it's to be light, it's to be easy to carry, and it does that to the T. Let's get into the accessories now. I did buy the ultra fast charger and all of that. I haven't been able to test it out completely, so stay tuned because we're gonna get into all of that later. And to talk about how these peripherals have held up after one day, they're fine. I basically kept this in my car's cup holders as usual. I had this in my backpack for a little bit as well today. I've used this for opening up my parking garage, closing the parking garage, using the tap features on campus as well, and it's been perfectly fine doing those things. I do wirelessly charge this with this case on, and it charges without a problem. I literally just put it down like this and it's perfectly fine. It starts charging, it indicates it on the cover screen. So it does do wireless charging even with this fat rubber case on. If it does it with this, it definitely does it with these cases as well. And just to show you guys a little bit of an unboxing, I already opened it. So this is the case with the screen. So it's kind of odd because there's this thing that'll fit between the top and bottom, and this kind of separates the case from the back of the phone so it doesn't make those weird bubbly things. And then there's this ring that sticks out of there, and then this would go over that. So that's how this case is supposed to be situated, which is pretty cool. Okay, I didn't really use this case. I don't know, I had $100 of credit. I wanted to use it however I could. And then there's the common clear case as well, so slides right out. So this is the common clear case. I haven't put this on either. Honestly, I really love the feel of the silicone. If you're gonna think about getting it, get it. You're gonna love the way it feels. It doesn't add too much bulk. The phone's already super thin and everything. Maybe it's a little too soft, so it loses some of the grip, but it's just nice. I mean, you can always put your fingers through the back strap and hold it, get even more grip. So I really like that case. I'm a supporter. So that's really been my first 24 hours. The main differences I noticed between this device and the old Z Flip 3. I mean, I call it old, it's still just 1 year old. Would I recommend you buy the Z Flip 3 now that the prices are down and upgrade to the Z Flip 4? No, I wouldn't. Would I recommend, if you have the Z Flip 3, to upgrade to the Z Flip 4? I mean, okay, this is a question because the Z Flip 3 right now, your trade-in value is $900. That's a lot of money for the Z Flip 3. And if it's been used and if you start seeing some air bubbles, maybe it's time to upgrade. I haven't used this long enough to make a concise decision, so I'll hold off on that for now. Now, if you have the S22 Plus, or if you're thinking between the S22 Plus and the Z Flip 3, which one's better? Well, no questions asked, the S22 Plus is better on the spec sheets, right? It's got a better battery, it's got, you know, a better camera, all of that stuff. Yeah, it's better. But which one would I buy between these two? The Z Flip 4, obviously, because I'm trading this in and I got $775 for it for the Z Flip 4. So yeah, I just love the fun factor. I don't care if I don't have like the top of the notch camera. The camera is still pretty good. You saw some of the pictures, it's still pretty good. I love the screen, I love the fold and the portability, and I just love the way it looks. Now, this hasn't gotten just, you know, those looks yet, the flex factor. It's been 24 hours, but I'm sure in my 1 month later, we're definitely gonna get a few, you know, conversations started with the public. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. And if you wanna have more of a background insight on how things are moving with the Z Flip 3 and other devices as well, definitely check out my podcast at Fossil After Dark. I mean, that's where it's just laid back, relaxed, we sip some drinks, and we talk tech and latest tech news. Yeah. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna take it easy. You should take it easy. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye-bye.